Good morning, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards. Today we're going to do a gratitude card, and this is for a man. We do a lot of flowery cards and send out to the ladies. I thought we'd be nice to do one that was for a man, so I've created this one. It's using some retiring products. So if you don't have these products and you want them, then now's the time to get them before they're all gone. The new annual catalog will be out on June 3rd. So you can, as a customer, you can order from that then. If you want to get the new stuff sooner and you would like to join my team and sign up as a demonstrator, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can just create cards and get a 20% discount on all your purchases when you sign up as a demonstrator. And you can be what they call a hobby demonstrator if you don't want to make a business out of it. So anyway, let's get started on this card. I have a piece of Whisper White for the base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I've already stamped the inside because I wanted to make sure it was straight, because I was stamping directly on my card base. So we'll set that aside and we'll work on this piece. This is Seaside Spray cardstock, 5 1/4 by 4. If you don't get all the dimensions as I'm saying them, they will be on my blog, which if you push the little down arrow, there's a link to my blog. And the way I did stamp this, I used my Stamparatus and I put the crackle paint background stamp on here, and then I laid my cardstock in here, right, kind of where I thought it would cover the whole thing, and then I stamped it with the Seaside Spray ink and then stamped it, and that's how I did this, so it didn't smear and stuff. That works really good with your Stamparatus. Okay, so we're going to work on these pieces here. Get the rest of them. Okay, the stamp set I used for this little greeting is the Itty Bitty Greetings. This cardstock, or DSP, is the Country Club, and of course it's retiring. This is the crackle paint stamp that I used. And then for the inside of my card, I used the High Tide. There's nothing little about the light you shine, and for this little You Are Amazing, that was from a Paper Pumpkin stamp set that I had in this case, because I was trying to keep track of it, because it had it's this one. It had ocean theme things on it, so I put it in this stamp case so I could keep track of it. And the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set, there's two. This is one of two stamp cases that comes with various kinds of greetings. So that's what I have used. Okay, let's take this, set it right there, and we're going to work on this banner piece right here. So I'm using Night of Navy cardstock, and this piece is 4 by 1 1/4. This is Granny Apple Green. It's 4 by 1 inch. This is the DSP from the Country Club. It is 4 by 1 inch. So let's glue these together. This is, I probably say this on every single card. I try to keep my cards simple, and this is definitely a simple card. Not a whole lot to it, but I was trying to avoid the flowery cards that we normally make because that's what we like. It's real hard sometimes to make man cards. This looks like it's a little long. Let's make sure we got this. Okay, we'll trim that off because we want it to be even. On both ends because it's going to be flush with this. So let's cut that little bit off. Okay. And then we're going to glue our DSP, not this piece, that goes on the inside. We'll glue our DSP in the center of the Granny Apple Green. Just like so. Get it even. I think I can hear my clock. I forgot to shut the door. Oh well. I have 3 of them. They chime 5 minutes apart, so if you hear another one go off, you'll hear them every 5 minutes. I should have shut the door. Now we're going to glue this to the front, kind of up towards the top, and it doesn't really matter. You can kind of gauge, and I'll tell you here in a second exactly where I put that. Just want to make sure it's straight across there. It's about 1 1/4 inches from the top down. Okay. And then I took these pieces. I punched this out with this punch, and this is the pretty label punch. And then I cut it in half. And then, because I wanted corner pieces, I just kind of laid it on here, kind of where I thought it looked even. Close that. And I'm going to glue it on here. And then I'm going to trim on the back to get it to look like a corner piece. Because I didn't have any corner pieces. So let's put a little bit of glue on here. You don't want to put too very much because we're going to trim this. So just kind of lay that on the corner. Make sure your little edges here are the same, just like so. And then we're going to trim the edges off. So it looks like a corner piece. Just like so. See? Very simple. We're going to do the same with the other corner. But I'm going to lay this down so that I know that they're going to be equal. Same. I want them the same. Turn that off. Let's use these. Sometimes my hands don't work exactly like I want them to, so we're going to just put a dab of glue right there. And stick this right somewhere here so that I can trim this and it will be identical. Oops, let's make sure I'm getting this on the right side. There. Come on. I think I need some new glue. We don't need very much. So we're going to stick that right there. You're just going to have to make sure you're both the halves of your punch or your cutout that you did are the same size. And I trimmed them to make sure that they were exactly the same. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this like so. Put it in the light so I can see what I'm doing. So I wanted them to be the same. So there's that piece. So now we're going to glue this piece to the other corner. That way you know you've got your two pieces the same size. So glue this one right here. Just make sure you're flush with the edges. Just like so. Okay. Now, set that aside for a minute. We're going to work on this. I stamped this already. This piece is, oh, let's see, 2 by 7/8. And this Granny Apple Green is 2 by 1 1/8. So we're just going to glue this to the center of this. Just like so. Okay, and we're going to take this, our label, and this is Night of Navy, and it was, before I cut it, it was 2 or 3 by 1 3/4. No. The piece that I used to cut this was 3 by 1 3/4. This piece was 2.5 by 2 before I cut it with, punched it with this punch. This is the Delightful Tag Topper. So we're just going to glue this to the front of this. Yep, I think it's almost time for some more glue. Make sure you do it right side up, and you can put it wherever you want on here. We're going to try to put it kind of like about that. Like this. So once I trimmed this, this tag was probably, well, it's 2 inches this way and a little bit less than 2.5 this way. Once you punch it, because it punches off a little bit. You might want to use a longer piece so that you can hang on to it in your punch. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the inside of my card, and this is 1/2 inch by 5.5. I'll go ahead and glue it to the inside so that the inside will be done. And I stamped my sentiment with Night of Navy on the front and the inside. So I'm just going to put this right here, so we have a little bit of color on the inside of our card. We don't want a naked card. There. Okay. Set that aside. We're going to work on this. Okay. I'm going to take my, this is Baker's Twine, and it's the Night of Navy Sahara Sand. And what I did with this is I put it in here like this, a long piece, and I wrapped it like this, strung it back through, and then wrapped it around the back. And you don't need this long of a piece, but you want to make sure you have long enough to tie your, I'm going to tie a knot in the back. Just like this. Okay? I just want to have a long enough piece that you can tie your knot. Let me see, I'm doing something weird here. There. Okay, let's get this knot tied. And I tied a square knot back here because they tend to be a little flatter. Get my fingers to work. Hold it down and pull. Because you want it tight enough that it's not going to move. And then just trim it thusly. Okay, like that. And then you kind of maneuver it around to where you want it to sit. And you can bend the card like this and then move it like so. Okay, open it up a little bit. And I kind of spread these out like that. Okay. And I put some dimensionals on the back of this, and you can do it before you set it down. It doesn't really matter. I put, so you can see here, I put 2 on the end, and then I put 1 in the middle, right here. It's like so. I didn't want this moving around. Okay. And I wanted it to stay angled, like just like so. Okay, it's like that. It doesn't matter how much angle, so whatever you want. And then I took another piece of this. I don't know how long it is. It doesn't matter. Whatever length you want, because we're going to tie a bow. And I took it under here and under this side. This. Tied a knot, or not a knot, I just tied like this. And then I tied a bow. It's like so. Okay. It's like this. Like so. And then I trimmed it because I didn't want this tails to be that long. So I trimmed them. Like so. Okay. Now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. And you might want quite a few because you don't want it sagging right you go through the mail. And avoid putting them on your twine. You don't want them on there. Just like so. Okay. Now we're going to put this on the front of the card. We're almost done with this card. The last thing we're going to do is put a little bit of bling on here. So add some shine to it. We're going to put that on the center of the card front, just like so. Okay, and we're going to take our gems, and I used the large ones. Put one here, one here, and then one more right here. And that's your card. I hope you like it. If you have a male friend or person that you want to thank, this is the perfect card for them because it's not all flowery and whatnot. So you have a blessed day. Have fun stamping. Please like my video and comment, and click on my little down arrow, and you can shop with me, sign up, go to my blog, whatever. You have a blessed day. And thank you for watching.